Welcome home. I'm Dr.Thema, a minister, licensed psychologist, and sacred artist. And this is Homecoming, a podcast to facilitate your journey home to yourself. While I will provide weekly inspiration and mental health tips, this podcast is not the same as personalized therapy. I'm so excited you're on the journey. If you want to request specific topics or to submit a poem for me to read on the podcast, email me at homecomingpodcast@gmail.com. Also, to build our community, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let's begin. Welcome home, Cojourners. I'm glad you're here for another episode, and my heart is full that we have a poem for today. And Bali Sierra has written a tribute poem for me, and I am so grateful. Thank you, Bali. And the poem is entitled To My Homecoming Queen, Dr.Thema. All right. So let me read it. I tried for so long with nothing to show. After countless worries, I just didn't know. Then through you, the pieces started falling into place, and my heart no longer saw life as a race. Now every moment's joy can be seen on my face. Your work has meant so much. Now I feel how others will receive my touch. Oh my goodness. That is so beautiful, and I am blessed by your words, Bali. Thank you so much for being a co-journer, and thank you for this heartwarming piece. It really lifted my day. All right, you all. Well, our topic on today is how to upgrade your life. Living your best life, living your life like it's golden, enhancing your life. We often talk about how to survive or how to heal or how to cope, but we want to be mindful that living an abundant life is not just about dealing with the past, but it really is about shaping, creating my present in a way that is nourishing, that is inspiring, that is fulfilling. And so I invite you in this moment to take sacred pause and consider the life that you would like to create, the rhythm of your life that you want to choose, the anthem of your life that you want to reflect, the ways in which you want to embody this season, to claim it, to name it, to shape it, to dwell in it, to occupy it. And we think about the many experiences that you may say downgraded your life or derailed your life. And yet we are here at this homecoming journey, ready to get the most out of our living and to fully and authentically be ourselves. So if it aligns with you, you can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and just at this beginning moment, if we can say to ourselves, welcome home. And as we welcome ourselves to this present moment and reflect on the lives that we are trying to create, that we will create, I will give you some strategies for living a more full life, a more rewarding life, a more peaceful life, to fully live with all that you have in you alive, right? To be alive, not going through the motions, not just surviving week to week or day to day, but for me to upgrade. All right. So the first thing I'll say is really at the start of the day to wake up before you have to be up, right? If I wake up at the moment that I need to jump out of the bed and start running through my day, then it already starts my day and therefore my life at a disadvantage. So then I am beginning my day in a place of panic, in a place of stress, in a place of racing through my morning that I have to hurry up and do this and do that and do this and do that. And so I would invite you to set your alarm for earlier than the time you need to wake up. And I'm not saying then to press snooze a million times, because then you're still sleeping and jumping up at the last minute, but to actually awaken and create your morning ritual. How would you like to nourish yourself at the start of the day? What are the habits, the practices that would allow you to feel a sense of joy, a sense of clarity, a sense of peace, a sense of connection, not only to yourself, but to that which is larger than you? For some of you, it will look like sitting still in meditation or prayer. Some may want to start the day with journaling. Some may want to get out of the bed and begin stretching or exercising or even going on an early morning walk. Some may want to put on your theme music, a song that will really then be the soundtrack of your day. So how will you enter into the new day? How will you start the day? Because how you start the day will set the tone for your day. Yes? Another important approach to upgrading our lives is spending some time connected to nature. So we can get so caught up in these machines and gadgets, and especially the times we're living in. You can live on your computer or live on your phone, and that is an aspect of life, but that is not being fully alive. And so to be intentional each day to take some time away from the machines and devices and connect with nature. That may be standing outside. That may be looking and walking around outside. It may be watering your plants. It may be going to a park. If you live close enough, going to the beach. Getting connected to the natural world so that we can be reminded of our breath, so we can be reminded of the vastness of the world, that there is more to life than my to-do list. And there is more to me than fulfilling all of the roles and obligations assigned to me. So there is a lot of beautiful research that has been done that documents the mental and physical effects, and I would say even spiritual effects, of connecting with nature. So no matter where you live, even if you live in the city, it is still possible, right, to step outside, get some fresh air, or open your window and allow that breeze to hit you, allow that sun to kiss you, to allow it to shift you. The air, the water, the trees, the sun, they are important ways to edify ourselves. And I know some of you saw the title, Upgrade Your Life, and you thought we would talk about strategies to make you more money. But I want you to know, upgrading your life is not about materialism. Upgrading your life is about opening your life to the fullness and the abundance of what life is. Yes? So we also want to think about being intentional with our yeses and our nos. For me to upgrade my life means I actually need to say no to some things that are not in alignment with my goals, with my plan, with my vision, with my limited time. Time is sacred. My energy is sacred. And so for each of us, we want to be intentional about shaping our lives with the blessing of boundaries. And so to consider before I say yes to something, if I have capacity or desire for that. And it also means the night before looking over my schedule for the following day so I can give thought to the ways in which I want to enter those spaces. What would I like to accomplish, or what would I like to receive, or what would I like my imprint to be in that space? So whether that is I have a meeting to attend to, whether it is the ways that I want to show up with my time with my children, whether it is time connecting with friends or partner, how do I want to show up? It is a decision for those who are empowered. And empowerment is not power over other people, but power to shape myself and my experience so that I am not just someone who is waiting to see what the day gives me. I am not just waiting to see what the day brings, but I am also getting to choose what I bring. What do I bring into this space? What is the energy with which I will enter my job? What is the energy, the intention, the feeling, the tone that I will set in my interactions with my supervisor, with my coworkers, with my family? I get to decide that. And so reflect on your day the evening before. Consider what you have on your plate, on your schedule, on your agenda, and then set the intention of what am I trying to co-create in that moment, right? I don't get to shape other people's or dictate other people's responses. So it is co-creating. They have a part that they're playing, and also I'm going to play my part, right? I'm going to set my path. I'm going to be clear and intentional about my decision to show up in compassion, to show up in patience, to show up in wisdom, to show up with an unhurried openness and appreciation for what this moment can bring. Yes? Along those lines, as you're setting your days and setting your weeks, it's important that you upgrade your life by creating time, protecting time for your social connections. Some people spend so much effort in their working life and in their desire to accumulate accomplishments or money or titles or all of these things. And many people who do that at the end of their life will say, I do not wish I worked harder or longer. I wish I had spent more time nourishing my relationships, spending time with my loved ones. And so to not neglect your family, your friends, your children, your partner, let us be attentive. Let us be engaged. Let us allow the important people in our lives to feel that they are a priority, that they are a part of our care, right? That we are intentional about wanting to pour into and to protect the relationships that matter to us. And if you are in a season of your life where there is a lot of isolation and perhaps you say, I'm disconnected from my family and I don't really have friends, to not surrender to that, to not be resigned to that, but to begin to think about how can I start to build and nourish and meet and create some new friendships and relationships so that we do not have to spend all of our time either in isolation or labor, right? So there is a way of enhancing our lives that involves our connections to the lives of others. So I invite you to reflect in this moment if there are relationships that you value, that you have neglected, or that you would like to water more, to set that intention. I will upgrade my life by honoring my friendships and relationships. It also can help us to upgrade our lives, to think about ways of getting creative. The arts are a beautiful way of deepening your life's journey, to go beyond the surface of things. And so sometimes as children, we have room for creativity. And for many people, the older they get, the less time they give to their artistry. And so to enhance your life, to upgrade your life, I invite you to think about how you can create more, how you can dream and imagine more, how you can manifest visions more and innovate and think outside of the box. And so for some of you, that will be with writing poetry or reading poetry. For some of you, that will be dancing or watching people dance. For some of you, that will be the visual arts, painting and coloring and collage making. For some of you, that will be music, singing or pulling out that instrument or playing that piano or playing the drums. For some of you, it will be about redecorating your office or your home. How would you like to express your creativity, even in your hair and in your clothes? What would you like to express in this season of your life? To upgrade your life, you can also consider speaking from a place of empowerment and clarity. Sometimes we speak in a way that is a perpetual apology. Some of us are apologizing for our existence, apologizing for our own words or our own needs, apologizing because you have a thought that is different than others. And the timidity with which we speak can erase our voice. So to upgrade your life, consider the ways in which you use your voice, and to be intentional about healing and claiming your voice. That in this season, for me to upgrade my life, I recognize that I have something to say and I'm willing to say it. So breaking out of that silencing or that shame and really owning your voice is going to be important, that you are not just a wallflower. You are not merely a doormat. You are not just someone who happened to be in the space. You have a contribution. Your thoughts are valuable. Your words are valuable. And it's important for you to know it, that your presence is important in the spaces you are in. And so to actually show up. I want to also recommend for those who work outside of the home to become more intentional about taking your vacation time and your mental health days. That our wellness should not just be in response to disease, illness, and infection, right? So some of us work until we're burned out or until the body breaks down, And so you don't take a break until your body breaks. And that is not an abundant life. So I do not wait until my tank is on zero to refill. So to take time, some of us are trying to win the loyalty award, being loyal to these jobs that often are not loyal to us. And so when was the last time you took time to yourself, time to rest, time for play, time for enjoyment, time off the clock, time away from your computer, time to live? Yes, that you don't want to wait until retirement to live, and you don't want to wait until you're sick to live. Yes. And so I consider the ways in which I use my mental health days, my vacation days to upgrade my life. And along those lines, I invite you to consider the ways you spend your weekend, for those of you who don't work on the weekends or whenever your days off fall, to be mindful for that day to not just be packed with errands and obligations and running to the point that your rest day is just really another work day. And I know many of us hold many responsibilities, and I invite you to just get creative or to also ask for support and help to figure out if there are any ways in which I can increase the sense of peace, the sense of rest on the days or the times that I have. What are the ways I can invite restoration and Sabbath into my life? So speaking of Sabbath, to enhance our lives and upgrade our lives, it will also be about attending to our spirituality. So considering what are your spiritual practices that in the busyness of life you have neglected, or perhaps you were never raised with spiritual practices, so that part of your life has always been missing. And so to say, in this season of my life, I want to start to pay attention to my spirit and to pay attention to the things that make my spirit come alive, the things that help my spirit to soar and be nourished and nurtured. And so being mindful of our spiritual lives is a beautiful way of deepening my life, enhancing my life, and upgrading my life. We also want to consider our journaling as an important aspect of our upgrading so that I can get some clarity. Sometimes we're operating with a lot of confusion, and we can create a lot of confusion and get stuck in confusion. And so when I want to get clear, it is not just about asking other people what they think, but I want to get clear within myself. And so I invite you to consider writing, journaling. For people who don't like to write, they can also do the audio notes recording on your phone. And to gain clarity, to consider if this is your season to seek out therapy, to seek out mental health support, to say, I want to get to the next level in my life. I want to live from an empowered and fulfilling place. So therapy is not just for when I'm in a crisis, but also when I am ready to evolve, to grow, to launch, to activate. These can also be goals that we work on in terms of our mental health. To upgrade my life is also to think about my generosity, my service, my volunteerism, my ways of advocating for things and people beyond myself. So upgrading my life is not about becoming more selfish or self-absorbed or ignoring the world around me. but it is also about living out my values, right? So what are the issues, the circumstances, the communities for which I have a heart, but maybe I have not protected the time and energy to do anything about the fact that I have a heart for these issues, right? So you may say, I care about this, or I care about the environment, or I care about addressing racism, or I care about women's rights. So I care about those things. And then how do I live that out? How does that show up in my life? And if it is a value that is unexpressed, then it is time to upgrade my life and actually let my living reflect my values. Let my living reflect my values. Then it is going to be so important to upgrade my life, to become thoughtful about my budgeting, right? To upgrade my life, then I need to have some honest conversation with myself or with my family about our resources and how to best manage our resources in a way that reduces stress and that has some long-term goal, right? Sometimes we are just living moment to moment and being impulsive and creating additional stress for ourselves. So I want to become thoughtful about what is the life I would like to live, not only in this moment, but what is the life I want to create for my future self? So to upgrade my life is not at the expense of my future self. Yes. So we want to plan. We want to consider. We don't like the word budget often, but I want to budget so that I am not just caught up in a web of consequences for decisions that I made about my finances in which I did not give those decisions thought. Yes. So we consider that. And finally, to upgrade my life, I want to say I set the intention to appreciate myself in the present. Many times when we think about self-help, self-improvement, growth, all of these things, there can be a pressure or a sense of not enough in the moment, and I have to get to a place of being enough. And I want to offer to you, even as I set the intention to upgrade, to improve, to grow, that I appreciate myself for the ways in which I have shown up for myself in the present. I appreciate myself for the growth that has already taken place. I appreciate myself and give myself gratitude today. On today, can you thank yourself for what you have already survived, for what you have already done, for who you already are? I invite your soul to tell your heart, mind, body, and spirit, welcome home.